My sister didn't whisper. She didn't hide it. Sabrina crossed the room in her linen culottes and slapped my 6-year-old across the face, right there beside the buffet and the twinkle lights. Like mother, like daughter, she said, laughing that bright, rehearsed laugh. Both are useless. My father, Howard, smirked. My mother, Celeste, let out a small, approving chuckle, and Maya, my Maya, stood stunned with a violet crayon paused mid-sky in her drawing of the lake. They called it discipline. They expected me to shrink the way I used to, quiet, compliant, grateful for crumbs. They forgot the one thing they shouldn't have. The microphone was on. The chandelier mic, the one Ethan, Sabrina's husband, had wired for the Halden Family Legacy Weekend documentary, blinked its patient red eye at us all. I gathered Maya and felt the heat of her cheek against my shoulder. I looked at Sabrina's perfect shellacked smile and said clearly, "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." Howard muttered about shame and character, as if humiliation were vitamins. Sabrina rolled her eyes. "Someone had to do it," she said, already angling her face toward the nearest camera. I turned to Ethan. "Still recording?" A muscle in his jaw flickered. He nodded once. For a heartbeat the room held its breath. Sabrina's gaze snapped to him. Warning, plea, threat, then to the chandelier, then back. He moved anyway, quiet as a confession, to the receiver by the sideboard. 20 minutes later, in the mudroom they'd christened our guest suite, Ethan handed me a small black drive. "A copy of the raw audio," he said. "No child deserves that." Maya slept curled around her stuffed bunny. I slid the drive into my pocket, the way a diver palms an air tank. We did not say goodbye. We left before the second round of mimosas. I drove straight to Tamsin's place, knuckles white on the wheel, while Maya hummed broken notes in the back. Tamsin opened the door before I knocked, put on tea and slid a notebook toward me. "Let's map," she said. No speeches, no pity, just process. By noon I had a list. First, the doctor. The pediatrician photographed the faint handprint, noted tenderness, wrote it all down without flinching. Second, a child therapist. Maya spoke carefully as if words were glass. "I sang," she said. "Then Aunt Sabrina hit me. Then she laughed." The therapist's eyes darkened. "We'll help her name what happened so it can't own her." Third, the emails. Sabrina's life ran on optics. Executive director of a youth arts nonprofit, Panel Darling, booked next month to keynote a Brave Voices conference. I opened my laptop and attached a clean audio cut. The slap, the insult, my father's sermon on shame. I kept my note lean and factual. I didn't ask for punishment. I asked for safeguarding. By morning, the board chair called. "Are you Maya's mother?" "Yes." "We've placed Sabrina on leave while we review. We'll issue a statement." An hour later, the conference reconsidered its keynote. By evening, Sabrina's bio went dark on the school art site. The texts began. From Sabrina. "You vindictive little martyr," from my mother. "Family matters stay in the family." From my father. "You always twist things." I didn't answer. I didn't post, subtweet, or grandstand. I let their own words breathe. Ethan wrote, simple and spare. I should have stopped her sooner. I sent back, "You turned on the mic." That night, Maya sang softly in the bathtub. The melody wobbled, then steadied. I sat on the floor and cried into a towel where she wouldn't see. The statements landed like verdicts. The nonprofit affirmed safe, brave spaces. The conference replaced Sabrina's headshot with a gray square. Cousin Joel called to say he'd seen things. Aunt Nora wrote that Stern was a costume for cruelty. I didn't absolve anyone. I set boundaries. When Howard rang, he asked if I was done making a scene. I told him the scene was theirs and hung up. Celeste texted, "Family endures," then nothing. Sabrina wrote, "You win." I deleted it. I made something small. Dinner at our apartment for the ones who showed up. Tamsin brought pie. Ethan came with his son and a sketchbook for Maya. He didn't apologize again. He knelt and said, "Your voice is a gift." She accepted it like a medal. After plates were stacked and laughter thinned, Maya tugged my sleeve. "Can I sing now?" She stood on the rug and began, soft, then sure, a song she'd written. It moved like water over stone, a hymn to brave hearts and stars that don't dim. Midway, she met my eyes. I nodded. She climbed the last notes without wobble. Applause bloomed. Maya beamed. Something unclenched. The room inside me where I'd been kept small. Later, while she slept, I opened her lake house drawing. I sketched figures in the center. Maya, me, the friends who stayed. I drew a microphone above us, not surveillance, but witness. "This is our legacy," I wrote in the margin. Protection, listening, showing.